Hey everyone, I'm Brian.
I'm Tyler.
And we're Gardener in Love. Hey guys, so today we are going to do a fun little before and after project, craft time if you will. We have this container that has followed me throughout my life, all the way from Florida. We used to have a water garden in this container on our pool deck, and I actually brought it with me to North Carolina when I moved here, and I did the same thing in it, and it was always very beautiful. But throughout the years, it got harder and harder to keep a water garden because you have to take the plants out every winter and store them, and we just never did that. So the container has just been sitting around, but it's big and beautiful, and so we figured why not plant something in it. So we have some coffee cups, elephant ears, that I think are going to be really beautiful in this, that we're actually going to just take a little snipping off of the coffee cups that we already have in the ground. We're going to pop that in here, and then we have some plants here that we're going to put right in front of it. But first, I actually need to spray paint it black because that would match the vibe of our deck here a little bit better. So I think we're going to get to that.
So Brian failed to mention that we have also already drilled drainage holes in this. So obviously when it was a water pond, there were no holes in the bottom. But what did you use to make the holes?
I actually used a diamond tipped drill bit, and that just assures that you're not actually going to break the ceramic, because this is a ceramic pot. So that just assures that you're not going to break the ceramic as you drill into it. Sometimes if you squirt a little bit of water on it, it makes it easier and you don't break anything. But that insurance is really nice to have because it's a nice pot and you don't want to lose it. All right, so now we can spray paint. So the first thing that you want to do whenever you're painting any sort of pottery or ceramic is make sure that you clean it off. So I have a wet paper towel here, and I'm just going to clean any of the old dust and dirt particles off, just so that our paint sticks really well. If you do spray it and it's not totally clean, it'll probably stick for a little while, but when you get a rain or something, it'll probably start chipping away, and you don't want that. So I'm just going to wipe it down here and make sure that everything is off of it. And make sure also there was some dirt in the holes that we had drilled from the last time that we planted it up. And so we just made sure that we went ahead and pushed that out of there. And then we've got some dry paper towels here, and you can go ahead and dry it off really quickly so that you don't have to wait to paint it. All right, that's all taken care of. So I actually have Rust-Oleum Universal Satin Paint and Primer in one. You can find a lot of pottery and containers at places like Home Goods where you might like the shape of it and you might like the design on it, but you don't necessarily like the color. So never be afraid to just take something and paint it. If you don't like it, change it. All right, so the first thing I'm actually going to do is shake this up. You want to make sure that your paint is shaken really well so it's all mixed up. And then I think we're safe to get to painting. So this is actually really good paint. Rust-Oleum usually sticks to most things without cracking, but it's cheap, and if it cracks next year, just come in and fill it in, paint over it again. It's no big deal at all. So you just want to kind of get in there evenly and paint. You can just see how easy it is to get an even coat. And this stuff also doesn't take any time to dry at all. Last side here. All right, so I think we've got this good and covered. Just make sure here around the edges. All right, so I think we have ample coverage on this. It's all painted and it looks really beautiful. But while it dries, I think we're gonna head over to the Union Garden and take a clipping from the coffee cups. All right, so we're in the Union Garden, and this is our coffee cups elephant ear. We planted this last year, and in most of the United States, this is an annual. So whenever the frost hits, it freezes it out and kills it, and it doesn't come back the next year. But because we are in such a mild climate, this actually came back this year and is looking huge already. This will probably get about 6 feet tall when it's all said and done at the end of the summer. And this year, it's gonna be really, really large. But one exciting thing about it is that it puts off little baby shoots through its roots. So it'll root out through the ground and then put up a baby probably like a foot or a foot and a half away from it. So we actually have one right over here that we're going to take and put in our pot. Okay.
All right, now for the fun part. So let's talk about the plants. So we dug up the baby of the coffee cups, and there's not very many roots on this, but I'm going to stay positive that it's going to root itself and everything will be fine.
It'll be fine.
These are pretty vigorous, so I'm not too concerned. And like Brian said, the one that we have in the ground will get probably somewhere 5 to 6 feet tall. But I would imagine since we're planting this one a little bit later in the season, it probably won't get that tall, but it'll still be big. And the way that these work is it's kind of like stair steps. So this was the first leaf that came out, and then it sent up this one, and it just kind of keeps going over the summer until they're all like stacked on top of each other. It's really cool, and the leaves get bigger every time.
Yeah.
So that will be kind of our big thriller that will go towards the back, and we will be planting this up against 2 walls back in the corner back there, so we won't necessarily need a centerpiece since you'll only be seeing it from the front sides. So we'll be planting the coffee cups a little bit towards the back, and then we've also got some really fun annuals from Proven Winners as well to fill in. Okay, so the first plant we have is a lantana called Luscious Royale Cosmo, and this one has little hot pink blooms that kind of age to a yellowy orange kind of gold on top. And this will get about 2 feet tall eventually, so it'll almost be like a little shrub in here, which will give us some nice height to level us down from the big giant elephant ear. And then we also have this plant called High Noon. We have not grown this one before, but it has little yellow daisy-like flowers, very golden. So it will kind of tie really nicely with the lantana. And this one stays pretty short, so we'll keep this one towards the front. And this one is actually a perennial in zones 8A and upward. So I don't know, maybe this one will come back for us. We'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, and the last plant is an old faithful. This is Super Beena Whiteout. Now, we planted this for the first time last year. You saw us add this to our moon garden, and we love the Super Beenas. All of the colors do fabulous for us. This one especially looks like little white hydrangeas all over the place. We love this one. So this will lighten up the plants a little bit, give us some nice contrast. So let's get started. Let's plant this stuff.
Yeah. All right, so in just a few weeks, this is going to fill in and look beautiful. I'm sure that the coffee cups is going to add on a few new leaves and get taller and taller. We'll probably nestle this back in the corner off camera just because you won't be able to see that, and it's a little tough to get in. But yeah, I think this pot's going to be really pretty at the end of the season.
This is just your friendly reminder every week to go in with your annuals with water-soluble fertilizer. That's what really helps them continue to flower. I'll be doing that this week. I have a reminder on my phone for every Friday, Fertilizer Friday, and I come out here with my coffee and I fertilize everything. So after a couple of treatments on this pot, it's going to be big and beautiful, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll be sure to update you guys as the season progresses on this container. I'm sure it will be gorgeous. And that's all this time. We hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you really like our videos, be sure you subscribe so you can get access to all the rest of them. And we will see you in the next video.
Bye.